Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta pay attention, man. It's a sneak
You gotta
attack.
give us a warning.
No, because it's like taking photos and people are like, "Why didn't you say cheese?" Because I wanted an authentic look. We should be smiling authentically, not just for.
I wasn't smiling authentically. I was like, it
we're gonna
wasn't.
find out.
We're gonna find
We
out.
will. So huddle us. What's some quick KPIs? Where we at?
Oh, geez. I didn't actually fill out the huddle.
Uh-oh.
So I came unprepared, but I know that my office hours KPI is 4 out of 6,
Yes.
and overdue items in production are at 7.
Not bad. That's great. 0 out of 1 live events, but that's about to change. And I think we're at 9 out of 30 product sales.
Yay! That's so exciting.
It is exciting. It's wild to watch that number. That's pretty cool.
It has every day it's increased a little bit, so
Yeah.
it's been really fun to watch that KPI.
Oh yeah, man. And when we get to it later, I could tell you what I think is the most effective conversion strategy. Ooh. So then Jessica, what do you got?
So I was trying to find the huddle. There we go. Marketing posts 128 out of 120, and then active subscriptions. We're actually at 195 now, 195.
Oh, yeah, because we're counting. Yes, so 191,
And then I
2,
got
3,
Kenneth.
4, and then you got Kenneth. Nice. Okay, so you got it. We covered that in our touch point this morning, where she's like, I'm kind of stuck because y'all are on crack about QBO, QuickBooks, and so we went into QuickBooks and looked at that.
And verified.
Well, she just I think Jessica really needs to see it.
Yeah.
I think she's that much of a verbal person or visual person,
Yeah.
and so when
You
she
showed
saw
it to me, and I was like, I understand now. Thank you.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
sometimes it all takes. Jessica, do you feel like now? This is the second quarter you've been crushing posting for us. Do you feel like you have a sense of the type of posts that get the most engagement?
I haven't looked at like the stats at that. I mean, I know that our blogs get engagement just because Instagram tells me they do. But I did want to start trying polls, because you said you get a lot of engagement when you do polls, like
Yeah.
someone that asks a question.
Oh yeah.
So I want to start doing that.
Okay, I'm just curious. If you don't know or we don't have data on it yet, that's fine. I was just super curious. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll put that on my list.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, it's late in the day for top priorities. So let's ask, did you hit your top priority or do you still have yet to?
I still have yet to.
What is yours?
I just want to review the edits that I need to make to the new State of the Spark homepage and try to get those done, because I think I just had a couple things I wanted to tweak. So I was going to try to get that over with. But I'm not done. No, I didn't make it yet.
That's okay. I mean, and it's been a disruptive day, right?
It's been really disruptive.
Sorry.
But in like a good way, I think. It's just
with top priorities,
Yeah. So anyway.
Tricky. Yeah. Yeah, and I did notice that your top priority was for the Great Transition. So that's very good.
Yeah.
I did hit my top priority because I've been putting it as my top priority for over a week now, doing personalized, customized videos.
I love that.
And so I had text messenger up, I had Facebook Messenger up, I had Instagram Messenger up. I thought they were all the same, they're not. And then I went through our list, and then I just then people started populating. I was like, oh, Matt Olson from Women's Performance Center. Yeah. He does really good. He serves women. He's got a great website. I like Matt. He's a cool guy. And so I sent him and Daryl Turner and Ryan Christ. And then I was like, oh, the Wanderer here. Wanderer here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Am I saying that? Why does that sound weird?
Wander here. Wander.
Wander on over here.
I think it just depends on your accent, right?
Yeah. Wonder here. Yeah. For some reason it felt weird coming out. But no, the girls there. Then I thought, well, the hospital doulas, right? And so then I messaged them and so it
everybody.
Yeah, like I went for like an hour and a half, and like I ran my battery down. So, anyways, that was my top priority, and I have done it. And so, yeah. Jessica, what about you?
I did. I made contact with Kenneth and we updated that subscription, and then I reached out to the ECU team about the website,
Nice.
Recruiter Empire. So
Ben Nader, what's the verdict there?
So they just want me to check back in 30 days. They've got some other stuff that's in a higher priority, but they do want to keep the site and move forward with it. But he just asked me to Tim just asked me to touch base in 30 days. So
I love Tim.
Does that mean they're going to pay for it?
I mean, I hope so. Probably, yeah.
Oh, that was the purpose of calling. That's okay. I mean, we'll let it go. It's totally cool. I mean, and
is it live though? Like
there's not a site on the servers right now. It has to be restored, and it hasn't.
I'm sorry.
So Ben did cancel his subscription, I think, because he was still working on things on his end.
I see.
And Recruiter Empire was no longer the domain. It changed to I think I did that backwards. The domain was changing and stuff, so it's actually not on our servers. We have the backup of it, so there's no subscription. So actually, the urgency on it is low anyway. It's still collection, but there's nothing attached to it right now.
Yeah, so I misspoke. Jessica, you did great. That was perfect. You did fine. No comment there. My bad.
Grant. Jeez. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're right. You're right. Give it a call out. Stuck's Gratitudes, right?
Yeah, I love it. So my stuck is not really a stuck because it's just something I'm researching. So one of the Bloom gals reached out and let me know that she was working on setting up Google Analytics and Data Studio. And I'd heard of Data Studio before, but I didn't really know what it was. So I had to do a little bit of homework. And I found that it's really just like reporting, like just custom reporting. And so I want to be able to advise them, but since it's not something I have personally worked with, I just wanted to ask you about it because you are the expert of all things. So you are the Google.
I am the Google. I'm the smart Google.
The Grant goal.
How is that spelled? How is that spelled? Let's see here. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, so I was just curious. Have you used Data Studio? Do you have thoughts about it? And what are they?
So Data Studio, yes, can be very powerful. And we actually have for Humarian a Data Studio, believe it or not.
Oh, cool. So already set up.
Yeah, so Data Studio, it is what you've said already. Why don't I see? Oh, those are all, got it. I was trying to find the Google Analytics for Humarian. Google Analytics Studio is a dashboard of sorts, just like you said, and it's generally, I have found, that's Optimize. Where's my Data Studio? Dadgum. There used to be a shortcut in Google Analytics to Data Studio, and there's not now for some reason. But basically, you can basically create dashboards that you put in front of the clients that are custom, so they have something to look at. Like we met with a client today, Skillcraft. We met with a client before that, BHI, yesterday. And for BHI, instead of just giving them Google Analytics, which is just a mess, we probably should look at Data Studio. And it pipes in Google Analytics, but then you say, just show me user data, and it puts that graph, and you drop that, and then just show me bounce rate, and then show me the top pages, and that's it. And Humarian might have one. If we could pull it up at some point in our services, we could pull it up, and you could see, this was such a good service because the data is real time, but it's not like building a site. It's like building a custom landing page of data.
Is it something that it's easy to use if you're not a developer?
Yes.
Setting it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's like a wizard that you click and say connect to Google Analytics, and it pipes in, and it's like what chart you want to use.
That's cool. I looked up the an article on how to connect them, and it seemed straightforward to me reading through the instructions, but I'm relatively familiar with Google Analytics, so I think I feel pretty confident in anything that's like a step-by-step list, but I wasn't sure if that would apply to the everyday person.
So so this is our and for some reason this is now called Looker, which is just insane.
Yeah.
Google sometimes does, like, it's like they ask ChatGPT, like, rebrand this, or Bard. I guess they have Google Bard.
Yes.
So this is taking a second to load, and this is basically, you can drag elements. Like, I dragged this Shopify button here, and oh god, it's definitely taking a minute. But you could see that this is like a 21 page data display if it would ever load.
Yeah.
But this is a chart on total spend, and I guess it's good it's not loading right now because it's like client data, and this is like e-com conversion rate. So you can see it's taking a bit to load. That one's a pretty complicated one, but it doesn't have to be that complicated. You just collect Google Analytics and you drag modules, and then the client only focuses on what you really know they should be focused on.
Cool.
Yeah. So
that's great.
Go for it. Yeah. Any other stocks?
No, that was it. And I just, trying to lead well. So thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for you guys. Every day that I start the day without a huddle, I don't know what to do with myself. I actually have multiple huddles that I have to attend in the morning. One is with my best friend and one is with you guys. And I need those two like anchor points for the day to feel normal, I think. And when I don't have those, it feels very strange. So,
and it's summertime, so you kind of feel like you shouldn't have those, but
yeah, it's strange.
You should.
Yeah.
I feel that.
So maybe next time when you have an appointment, we'll just be like, all right, we'll wait till later. Like we'll do our huddle at 10 or something.
Yeah, because it was, I got on and just started, and I was like, well, no anchor point.
Yeah, who am I even?
Do you need anything? Like, I don't know. It was just very strange. So I'm grateful that I get to start the day with you guys and with my bestie, Sarah.
That's really good. It's good to have that. Mm-hmm. Speaking of besties and dancing, I got this weird imagery in my mind. Like, like guys take women out dancing, or husbands take wives dancing, or should, stuff like that. But then I thought, like, but women like to dance differently with their girlfriends than they do with their husbands. It's like a different type of dancing.
Yeah.
And in our modern situation, like, but there's like a view that, like, from one side it's just like, let your hair down, paganistic bacchanal, let's just dance. And on the other end it's like that's a little too wild and I'll just stay home. Those are the only two alternatives, like be wild or don't or go home and watch Netflix in your PJs. But like sometimes you just want to dance, and then like it gets wild. And then this imagery came to mind. Tell me what you think of this comparison. This imagery came to mind of when in the ancient Greeks during the oracles of Delphi, which were women and in an enclave of women, and then also in time during the colonial witch hunts. The women were accused mainly of one thing. What was it?
Witchcraft?
Dancing in the woods. And that was the symbol of the witchcraft. Mm-hmm. Or that was like the triggering accusation, for the witch trials. But the oracles of Delphi, however, were doing the same thing. And they were dancing, but they were dancing to a fervor, almost like what we know as Pentecostalism, right? But in their own faith construct. But they let their hairs down. They were often naked or topless or just wild. And it's like, women should go dancing with women. There's just something about it that's different than, going dancing with men. And when I picture you with your girlfriend, I just got warm fuzzies because I'm like,
my sister wife.
There needs to be this next level of sister affinity when it's just like, and like the blue
I
girls
feel like
used to hit the
she's
beach.
Also my partner. Like I am married and I have a partner, but she is also my partner in life. Yeah. Like if I have to ask anyone for parenting advice or just life advice or anything, she's the first person I'm going to go to. So like, we've promised our lives to each other just in a different way, but it's equally as magical.
Yes.
And I agree. Yes. Women should go dancing with women.
Yes.
But like wild women need to go dancing in the wild, and it needs to be like a borderline ecstasis sort of event. And then when you think about it, there's a power that comes away from that. Like the women feel a camaraderie and a power in that, like an energy. And then they bring that into their homes.
Yeah.
And, you know, and there's just a grounding, like, I have this secret thing. Yes. That's not so secret that I do. And I am basically a witch. And
I am. And it's always been my dream. And now there it is.
There it is.
I just want to dance barefoot and howl at the moon.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yes, do it. So
when I go see my sister, like once everybody goes to sleep, that's literally what she's begging me to do. Like, go dance in her backyard with her.
Yeah.
See, and you should just say yes if you don't.
I mean, I do. There's no arguing with her about it. Like,
oh yeah. There's
like you said, it's either like dance or go to sleep. Like that's where it's at.
Yeah,
that's great. And I think when I think about a healthy female component to society, you know, and we think of it today as like just like, oh, having a girls' night, and it's like no, that's not what we mean. We mean go get Gaia, you know, like you know, go do some grounding and get weird.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't have to be alcohol induced necessarily, but yeah, go get weird. For all of our sakes, you know.
My best friend that got married a couple years ago, she's a fiddler in a band. She's a farmer. She's amazing. I've told you guys about her. For her bachelorette, we were together during like a full moon, and we had this whole ceremony, and we all had to bring things, and it was the best thing I have ever participated in. We were all sobbing, but like in the best way. And we're, you know, we were in the mountains in Virginia, like smack dab in Appalachia, just surrounded by beauty. And it's the best thing I've ever done. And that's what, like, I wish that we had danced. That's the only thing that was missing.
Yeah. Even to no music, just got moving. That's great. Stuck's gratitude. I've got no Stucks. My gratitude is I'm grateful for progress. We're making progress on the great transition. We're making progress, I feel like, with clients every day. So yeah, I'm just grateful for the feeling of progress. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what do you got, Jessica?
So like he was saying, like I'm no longer stuck. My stuck was the whole PPE QuickBooks thing, but he cleared that up for me. Nice. And then my gratitude was like, I just want to be like Miguel. He just moves on and like overcomes things, and it's just like, okay, fine, like no big deal. Now I'm just gonna go at it this way. And I tend to like sit back and analyze what went wrong, and so I spend too much time there.
Yeah.
And so like I was just saying, like I was grateful for Miguel because he's a great example of kind of how I want to be and how I want to tackle life. So I'm lucky that he's like so close to me, being an example every day. So
that's amazing.
Good. That's good. And then we overanalyzed it, or I did.
Yes. No, we dove in deep.
We dove in deep to it. Yeah, it was too deep.
That's amazing.
That's my male desire to be helpful. So what's up, downloads? What's going on?
Yeah, not that much. I still feel like I'm in a really strange time just because of summer, it being summer. And I think Sean and I are finally going to have a little date night this weekend, which will be nice. We haven't had one in forever. And we're going to see some of our friends on Friday night, which is rare. And our one friend is very pregnant and going to pop at any moment. So we're just trying to like take advantage of time with her when we can. And then, yeah, I had a doctor's appointment this morning, just like routine blood work follow-up, and everything was really good, which I'm very cognizant of that. I get blood work every 6 months. My dad died at 50, so I feel the need to like be very careful about my heart health. And there for a while, I was having issues with like high blood pressure and stuff a few years ago, when I developed sleep apnea. And since then, I've dealt with that stuff and been able to kind of keep that under control. But I'm just always very much concerned about my health, even though there's nothing wrong with me.
Like making sure, like I'm still
Yes.
doing right. Okay, I'm still good.
I feel like I have to be the other extreme because my parents did not ever take care of themselves at any point. And so I feel the need to be like hyper vigilant about taking care of
Oh
myself.
yeah.
And also I realize I'm very fortunate, and because of Sean's job, I have great insurance. So there's no reason for me to not take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So I just think it's really important to know where your health is at, and especially my heart health, since he died of a heart attack at 50. That is always like my big thing. And my blood pressure has been so good for like the whole year. And I'm like, sweet. Because it really stresses me out if it's not.
What's your blood pressure?
It was 120/70.
All right.
So yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Do you track it throughout the day?
No, I used to. I have before when I was getting readings that were high at my appointments. But no, not usually anymore. But it's just like something I'm very aware of. And like, I just feel like everyone should know how to take their blood pressure and all that stuff.
Yes.
It's just like, I don't know, paramedic wife over here, just totally over analyzing my health at all times. Like, I have a tickle in my throat. I'm dying. And he's like, no, you're not. But yeah, so I'm just, that's another thing I'm grateful for, just health.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, that's what's up.
What's up down? That's what's up. What's up downloads? My shoulder, this time of day, when I reported this morning, my shoulder was super sore and I was icing it. It's just something I went to massage therapy for last week, or I'm sorry, over a week ago. I have another massage therapy session this Friday. To try to work it out, and then I should be icing it several times a day. So I'm about to grab that after today or after this. And then the other thing was something I shared with Jessica, and that was I'm watching this master class from the founder of Reddit. His name's Alexis Ohanian. He's the guy married to Serena Williams. And he is a prolific investor. I mean, he started Reddit so long ago, sold it, walked away, was pulled back to kind of lead it because it lost its way for a while. And then he's like a preeminent like investor. He invested in Instacart before Instacart was a thing. He's constantly investing in vegetarian food options and stuff. He's just like that sort of guy. And he talked about today, he said, one of the major things I look at in an investment is not the quality of the thing today, but the quality of their delta, the quality of their rate of change. Delta in math and everything is generally known as the rate of change, or the rise over the run in geometry or whatever it is. And, if you get positive or if you get useful, constructive feedback, how quick are you to implement it? And if it's taking you 6 months to implement a thing, do you even care about that thing? And so what we call like execution is everything. Does that mean you have to be a brilliant executor? And he said, no, you have to just know how to iterate.
Yeah.
Quickly. And I would say, I'd compliment you girls and us that we do 1%ers constantly. And I even said to Jessica, we've done so many 1%ers, I don't even think we notice it anymore.
No.
It's like Pequeño, and then you compare it to like the Great Transition. You're like, I don't even know what this looks like on the other end.
Yeah.
Honestly, we still have huge question gaps about how sites is managed, how training is managed. Are they the same? Does one observe the other? We don't think so. We have a working hypothesis for most of these things,
Sure.
but it's only enough for us to act. And I am, I guess this brings up another gratitude. I think most people that I've worked with in the past, this is enough question marks that they would have left.
Yeah.
I don't know if you girls feel that. We have never talked about it. You've never really expressed it. But I am just grateful that you're still here because... Who? I heard a motorcycle. But hey, I'm grateful for that you girls are still here and like rolling with this transition, because the pushback, the feedback, the critique, the talking it to death instead of, hey, let's just build this new homepage. It's like, no shit. That's exactly what I'm talking about, which I appreciate you, Amber, especially for driving so much of that. So anyways, yeah, that's what I'm grateful for. That's my what's up. That's what's up.
I love that what's up in gratitudes just become one thing.
They do.
Like, these are all the good things.
They just meld. What do you got, Jessica?
So my what's up was just that I got my evenings back. So just talking about like that transition really in the mindset of like my time is no longer scheduled or spoken for by someone else. Like I don't have to be somewhere and do what they want me to do. It's like, now you have your time. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to be productive? And just restructuring and making sure there's time for rest. And I'm also grateful that I've got 4 projects that I'm working on that I like. Like I was thinking about that. I mean, besides Spark, that's my 5th. But yeah, there's nothing in my basket right now that I wish was not there. You know, like I'm just excited and passionate about all 5. So I think I'm very blessed to be in that place. I'm not going to cry.
But I love that for you. I am. I will.
I always say that when I feel them coming, I'm like, oh, no, you get back in there.
So. It doesn't help when I say that. It makes it worse. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, and then it's over.
That's it. Once I start, it won't stop.
That's pretty funny. No, I do love that. Like, that's a beautiful statement. There's nothing on my plate right now that I wish were not there.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I kind
wild.
of feel like that on a different level. Like when I was looking at my calendar today of like, okay, this is my schedule, this is what I'm doing. I was like thinking about how a year ago I might have looked at some of these things and been like, oh, I don't want to do that. No, like that's stressful. And now I'm just like, I am going to solve this puzzle. I am going to figure this thing out. And like, I look forward to the challenge. Like Jessica put a task in queue for me. It's the silliest task, just to remove our email from one of our clients' website notifications.
Sure.
It's the easiest task, right? One of the notifications, though, I have no idea where it is coming from. Like, no clue. I have looked up and down for this notification, and I'm like, where is it even happening?
What?
And yeah, so I look forward to solving that puzzle. I've yet to figure it out.
Whose website is that?
It's the Lakelander. And it's not any of their forms. It's not any of their opt-ins, their Bloom opt-ins. It's none of that. And so I'm just.
I wonder if there's a staging site.
There is one staging site, but it's an exact clone of their live site. Only it has a different ad plugin. So, and yeah, so it's just obscure, and I haven't figured it out yet, but I will.
Yeah, sleuth time.
Sleuth time, yeah.
Sleuth time. I've got that with David Feller's site right now, or something similar with David Feller's site. So I do. And they are annoying. And there are days where you're like, nope, absolutely. Nope, not today, Satan. Like, I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm not. But I'm grateful for like the 60 to 80% of the time where it's like, okay, let's go figure this out, man.
Yeah, like the data studio thing, like that would have totally stressed me out a year ago. I would have been like, I don't know, I've never used this.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? But now I'm like, I don't know, but I can advise you on it. I'm sure I could figure this out. Oh,
yeah.
You know, like it's, so I'm really happy that Jessica is feeling that on a more grand scale. And I think it's just like, you really should celebrate this moment with this being like your last week at Grillsmith. And
no, girl, I'm done. Monday. It's over.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, and you got your emotion code site up.
Yes.
You know what we should do? We should do a couples date to Grillsmith as customers.
Yeah. That would be great.
That would be huge. I do
love the food there.
They do have good food. Yeah.
I mean, and their churrasco steak, if you're feeling it, that's fantastic. It's got that pesto. Pesto.
Pesto. I'm going to be thinking about that for the rest of the day. Grit called pesto.
Pesto.
I'm never going to
the accent. It. It's that like southern accent.
It's like Southern Surfer. It's that pesto. All right. So that's what's up. And we've already had a super productive day, I feel like. We still have lots to do. But let's talk briefly about our live event before we get to the AI stuff. So my reporting on that is I think we're up to, I could just pull it. Do I have it up? I don't want to like waste everyone's time by poking around. But
no, I want to know who signed up. I want to keep this list in my head.
Yeah. Okay. So I sent it to Gina Bullock, and she just gave me the thumbs up, and then her thing came through. So
Nice.
that's two. Let's see here. And then S&D Real Estate, I just DM'd D Chandler directly.
Oh, nice.
And so that's there. Sam or Fitty.
Nice.
And then Marlena Alvarez, and each of them represent 2 tickets. So I think that's about where we stand on tickets, 8, if I'm not mistaken, and then our other KPIs, whatever. But so that's set up. I've got the room booked, and
Nice.
I have the classroom behind the kitchen, and then I asked the gals at the co-working space, hey, if we were to need to upgrade because, let's just say this momentum keeps and we actually start getting people. Mm-hmm. If we were to need to do that, is it easier to upgrade rooms or downgrade rooms? And she said it's easier to upgrade rooms because people usually book the smaller rooms first because they're always paranoid they don't want to fill a room, and they're trying to always save money on the bigger room. So if we get there, we'll have to upgrade then.
No worries. That's awesome.
Yeah. So let me just see if it's going to tell me. I see another sign up here, so I just want to make sure I speak to it.
Open the box. Who is it?
It's a present.
Abdel.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Abdel from House 820, and he's flying in from a trip to the DR that morning, or like at 3 p.m.
Oh wow!
And I was like, "What?" And so he's gonna try to make it there. So that's a great start. Seeming that we started this week with none.
Yeah.
Yeah. So questions about the event. Like, you girls saw the event. Do you know what we're talking about?
I'm curious what you're going to talk about and what you're going to have Nicole talk about.
Nicole's probably easier to answer. So for those watching this now or later, Nicole Bradham owns Hot Mod Influencer Agency, and we love Nicole. She's just a baller. Yeah, she's just amazing. And she's been in marketing for almost 2 decades, right?
Yeah.
And then she specializes in influencer marketing, and she speaks often to micro influencer marketing. So she's going to be here to talk about basically the state of influencer marketing.
That's awesome.
And I look forward to hearing that myself, because we don't do it. I mean, we're trying to be our own micro, teeny tiny influencers. Pequeño. But it would be good to know like how those relationships go. And she represents some really cool RV travel people. Have you followed any of her people?
Yeah, I love looking at her travel creators because honestly, if I had to pick like any dream random job, being a travel creator would be awesome. Like,
yes,
especially with kids, because kids are cute. You just take pictures of the kids being cute. There's their content.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to live in an RV so bad. I'm tired of this house.
Well, that's true. But like, house aside, RV living is not easy living.
I know. I want it. Get rid of everything.
Just get rid of it. What appeals to you most about the RV?
Simplicity. Less stuff. Less time dealing with stuff. I don't want to be doing laundry out the wazoo every weekend and like cleaning up the whole house. Like, I love my house. It's beautiful. It's cozy. You know, we have plenty of space. But some might say we've got too much space. And,
some might say.
Well, and Cole only has like 5 years until he turns 18. So,
oh my gosh,
I want to be as close to him as I can.
Oh yeah, like he moves to Kalamazoo, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
no, son.
He wants to go to school for music, and he wants to go out of state. And I'm like, I will always support that. I think you know, my parents definitely supported me traveling. So I don't know, just
interesting,
simplicity and just getting to explore, like being able to not be in the same place all the time, but still be able to work and and live.
I think if you go in with eyes wide open about sleeping in Walmart parking lots, if you're comfortable with pooping in a bucket, if you know all those sorts of totes. Hey, I grew up in West Virginia, son. Don't
I did
care.
Not.
I know, right?
Damn it, Marissa.
Virginia. Right.
Just Virginia.
Just Virginia.
Or you could just do it like we do it. Just like have a shovel on hand, like dig a hole, drop your deuce, cover it up. You're good.
Well, I think more people that are accustomed
to
places with couches are even less accustomed to deuces in the woods. So like I really think what the hell this is degenerated. But so my first poop in a bucket. I've pooped in the woods more than I've pooped in a bucket. But
I wasn't expecting that.
No. So Marissa, we took a cross-country road trip and we were doing Yellowstone, and this was our Yellowstone trip. And of course, Marissa found the cutest camper on the cutest little hill in the cutest valley that was in this tall sweetgrass. And so like you wound through Yellowstone, pulled into this private drive, and like you had these huge canyon walls on either side of you. So it was like magical. But then in the middle was this little rise, and there was like 4 or 5 houses in there. And then at the very peak of this rise, which overlooked the whole valley, there was this like, oh my gosh, it's an Airbnb. And it's a cute camper, and we pull in, and it's a pequeño. Like, it was like, ooh, that's a little small. And that's okay. It was still super cute, and the sweetgrass was there. And then the grass was like head high. And they had cleared just enough space for you to pull in with your car. And then there is bare wire around this thing. Like hot wire. Like, don't touch it, and it's for bears. And I was like, what the actual F? And then you're thinking about it. You're like, I guess I'm in Yellowstone. This is real deal. And then you look around, and it's the tent toilet, where it's literally like the square, like you imagine changing into your swimming costume in the 30s, right? It was like that, but in the middle is a 5-gallon, you've seen these, the 5-gallon bucket with the seat. And I'm thinking, this is going to be rancid. But the sawgrass, the peat moss and sawgrass, you've seen this? Mm-hmm. Jessica's making eyebrows. So Jessica... It's this blend of like peat moss, and I'm calling it sawgrass, but it's like wood shavings. Amber, do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what it is. I'm not sure.
But so it just like decomposes all the stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Well, when you do your business, you then sprinkle this on top. Okay. There is zero odor.
Okay.
There are next to no flies. It's not
like compost of some kind.
Well, it decomposes.
It becomes compost, I guess.
But in its state, there's just something about the mix, and I don't know if maybe it's a specific tree, like a pine tree, and just because of that, it overpowers it or something like that. I don't know, but it's like little whittled wood shavings, and it kind of creates this kind of like fluffy mass, and you drop a handful right on top, and it's like magic. And so I've been sold on that. So when I think about RVs, I always think about this. It's basically a compost toilet, Amber. It's called a compost.
When my mom was building her tiny house, they kept talking to her about a composting toilet, and she was like, absolutely not. We are having plumbing. But
if you can still have plumbing with a composting toilet. Well, we have looked at those.
It was way less expensive though to do it the way that the builder was suggesting with the composting toilet.
Yeah.
And we tried. We're like, Mom, you're going to spend so much money on this. And she's like, no, I'm not. My mom is like she grew up with 12 siblings. Her house burned down when she was very little. Like she grew up with nothing. Mm-hmm. So she's very much like, I'm going to live as nice as I can afford to.
And why not,
Yeah, more power to her.
But I'm with you. Like, you do save a lot of money, and it is, I believe, better for water conservation, and I think better all around. But there is maintenance, and when we've looked at van life, like we would want to go like all out, and then when we start counting the cost of going all out with like a full blown Sprinter van, you're in it for the same cost of like a tiny home.
Yeah.
And so then the real estate investors in us come back, and we're like,
yeah,
I should buy land and put like a tiny home on it, right?
That's the goal.
And Marissa always says this, and I do tend to agree with this. Anything with an engine, as soon as you buy it, it halves in value.
Yeah.
So we would almost rather have like a tow trailer, like a teardrop trailer, these tiny Airstreams, and we've looked seriously at that. Like, what if we sell when the kids are out of the house for you guys, but like, what if we were to sell out of our house and there's some small ones that are affordable that have some real.
Yeah. We looked at them with my mom, and she wound up going with a traditional builder, and she built a 675 square foot home. It's beautiful, but it costs the same as my house that I am currently sitting in, my 4-bedroom house. So
Wow.
the builder did kind of rip her off a little, and that was her fault because she didn't ever have a contract. And the whole time I was like, get a contract. But yeah, it is like not always what it's cracked up to be as far as like saving money.
But if you know that,
if you go into it knowing that, I ultimately would love to have a plot of land and an RV so that I have a home base to come back to, but I don't have to be there.
Yeah.
If I don't want to. So
Yeah, man. I don't even know how we got on this team.
we were talking about Nicole and
Nicole. And her people are glamorous, right? They do not look like they stayed the night in no RV. I don't care how nice it is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the RV dreams that make the most sense to me are when I think about renting an RV to drive down the Baja and surf, so that you're moving in and out of like bathing suit, RV, and just like do that. That makes sense. And so I don't know if Nicole Bradham represents those people. She represents very put together families that have like 6 people, and I don't know how they all fit in an RV, but they do.
If you've seen some of the videos that she's posted of like people doing tours of their RVs, they're insane.
They are.
It's like kids could have a whole bunk bed to themselves, and you're just like, where?
Oh yeah, they have those families have committed. That's the other thing is driving on the highway, especially in mountains. It's like, what is even happening here?
Well, I'm married to a retired engineer, so if he can drive a fire truck, I think he can drive an RV. Right, a fire truck's pretty big.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I don't have that. I mean, I get nervous on that stuff. Yeah, it messes me up.
I've driven a small bus. Have you ever seen the the smaller versions, the shorter versions of buses?
Say it.
The short bus.
Say it.
No.
Is it not politically correct to call the size of a bus short?
I don't think it's politically correct to say the short bus anymore. Like, I don't think you can just go around.
How did they take the short bus from us as well?
Jessica.
We're going to get taken off of YouTube.
And I don't think I've ever said this out loud. I love how left-leaning Amber is and how right-leaning Jessica is. Actually, and it never comes up for those watching. It never comes up. We
never talk about it. Yeah,
but there's just small things like that just make me die. That are just hilarious. So, anyways, back to the live event.
Right.
So we have a photographer. I still haven't seen an invoice.
I don't think he sent it. I'm gonna remind
this
him.
guy. I want to buy his time, and I want to know he's coming.
I know. Well, he did say he's going to hire someone to come with him. That's why the rate was what it was.
Sure.
But because he wants to make sure he's getting enough content. But no, he's going to be there.
Good.
Because I already said we're so excited to work with you.
Yeah, very excited. And I don't even mind priming with him, doing a preliminary meeting, even a 15-minute phone call to kind of write down some possible shots we just want to make sure are taken. And then all 3 of us need to be on point capturing content now and again. If someone gets caught into a Q&A, capturing each other. So to me, we're going to end up spending about $1,000 on this very small event. $500 for him. The smaller, I take that back. It'll probably be closer to $750, $800. Because the room, now that I'm getting the smaller room, we're saving a little money there. We haven't talked about snacks, food service, that sort of thing. I'm not planning on doing meals or any of that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind having like coffee, tea, snackables, things like that in the kitchen or maybe on the back table. I have Catapult creating a pot of coffee and some tea and some of that sort of stuff. Nice. I've already mentioned we're not doing decor. Yes, ma'am. Hand.
You mentioned getting shirts for the 3 of us.
Ooh.
I did mention getting shirts for the 3 of you, and that is what literally.
Because Amber talked about this awesome dress she was wearing, and so I'm just like wondering what I should be doing.
I know. Yeah. Are we wearing? Yeah. Can we get those in time?
Well, that's why I have it up. I literally was gonna grab these, but I can't find. So this shirt right here is the one that I want to go with, and it's got embroidery. I want to make sure that we're doing embroidery. I don't know if this was the person I bought it from, Custom Ink. Marissa found out who it was. I'll find out who it is today,
Okay. All right.
and I'll try to get them ordered. This says color family. Maybe I should look closely, but I think I want to try to match our baby blue or our green, which is that almost the seafoam green, and then do the icon, which I'm trying to coordinate with John Sierra of Sierra Creative. For those who might watch this later, I'm trying to coordinate getting our new character in that pink or pop color. But that being said, is my context, and it's almost like this blue and this green, something in between or something like that. You probably need to plan on having some nice business casual or some form of dress or outfit that you like if we can't make that happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So think through that, but let's take a time out and let's ask. If you had a choice on color of the base of the polo, what color would you want?
I feel I look better if it's going to be a light color, blue.
Yeah, I think the green will be a little too. That was closer.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And the logo would be white?
Well, yes. So my desire would be to have embroidery. And to have, at minimum, it say Spark Team. Unless you would prefer in other scenarios for your own purposes, when you're out for coffee or out with friends, for it to say Spark Sites. I'll leave that up to you.
I think Spark Team for where we're going.
And then if I can work the character in a tasteful way, if we get it, honestly, I wish we had nice quality dry fit with the logo that says Spark Team, like right there, and then on the side.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Iron on. I would love if the character popped over there.
Yeah.
Or something to that effect.
Even if it was just like a small embroidered little thing, that would be cool. My other thought was, I like that you wear a black polo. And if we did it in black, then we could have a colored embroidery, which I think would also look really sleek with like the blues and greens on a black shirt.
Yeah, I'm okay with the black. Originally, I was like, it's Florida, it's too hot, but like we're not doing events outside.
White is like, I feel like it gets dingy too fast. Blue I'm cool with, but I think the black would be sleek looking just because of how bright the logo would pop on that. Because our logos are all those like brighter colors.
Okay, so this is really good. I should be making notes, actually. Let me pull up my keep. If people ever pop into our office hours,
what do they?
They have been. I don't know if you've watched.
I feel like this is the most rogue of them all so far.
This is definitely the most rogue.
Jessica, what in the world? Okay, so we're looking for blue if we can hit our color, or black. I thought we were going vibrant. I guess if we can get a good gradient, like if we could get a good gradient, I would be okay with that because the black would make the gradient stand out.
Yeah. That was my only thought, is that it's going to be hard to find a polo that's the exact blue. And with the white embroidery, I think it would look good, but it might get lost on blue unless it's a darker blue.
Then if we can get the character on the sleeve.
Yeah, that would be even cooler because then we'd have like our little pop of orange or pink or whatever, fuchsia.
Well, I even think the character, I'm telling you, just to give ourselves a visual, I even think this character needs to have the pink. Let's see here. Let me find what I'm looking at here.
I love that.
Like this gradient right here.
Yeah.
If I could get the logo in that on black.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would look real sharp.
It would look so great.
That would look super sharp. And then I'm thinking for the character, almost an orange yellow pink gradient. And Amber, maybe that's the solution to the color problem we're having on the new landing page. Maybe it needs to be a refined yellow to pink color.
I know what I'm going to do now. Thank you. Stuck unstuck.
Cool.
Stuck unstuck. Okay, that's valuable. I don't care who's watching. Okay, yeah, and if you ever want inspiration, I mean, they have more white than we have, but like even see this little component right here? Mm-hmm. They full blown go for the full gradient. I think I want our character to have an element of that.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Maybe it's gloves or something.
Or
maybe a shirt.
A hat.
Maybe. And ultimately, like, our characters will have, some will have clothing on, some will not have clothing on, and some of those will be those colors, kind of like...
Their color palette is outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, like look at the gradient. See the puffer? How it goes from this purple to that pink? Mm-hmm. But then they still darken this for the shading, and it works. It's not... Look
at the pants on the guy next to the guy.
Right here?
Like the puffer pants. Those are so cool. And the overalls this chick is wearing at the bottom, like... Yeah.
Yeah, the overalls, see, that's brilliant. And then the little tube top. Mm-hmm. So they're really hitting on all cylinders. And this is obviously not, we can't rip their branding.
No.
Our characters will be distinctly different, obviously. But you're right, like they have brilliant designers floating around.
Look in the bottom right corner of that, scroll back up. Bottom right corner, the guy that's like coming out of a different world. He's like, I'm in a different world, guys, but I'm wearing a cowboy hat.
What'd you say, Jess?
I like that idea. I think it's cute. Like, I think that could be used, like, if we had something going on our site, like, and then it's like, for more information about this, head over to this section.
And it's like its own little wormhole.
Yeah. And then you follow that character who we've said has the characteristics of that other concept, and then
I dig that. I mean, even this background. Think about that. Like, is this an image?
Yeah.
Or is it CSS?
I feel like that has to be an image.
Background.
Like the way those lines are randomized with the squiggles, I think that would be really hard with CSS.
But wouldn't that be nuts? So I don't know. Yeah, it's brilliant how they do that. And every graphic, they have. And there's your portal, Jessica. I love the portal idea.
The portal.
Yeah, I think that's a cool idea.
I really dig that, our own version of that. And in the Doodles world, that is the portal of positivity.
Oh, yeah. See, of course we connected to that because that's adorable.
Yeah, it is adorable. It warps them. But like they pick a theme and it's weird because it's like all gradients, but it had like this is a darker workroom, but it still works and it's still colorful and it's still vibrant. It's like
it's because all the other elements that I love, this is what I was saying the other day, I love black and white. And then when you throw color in like this, it's so brilliant to me because it's not overpowering at all. Yeah. You think you're just looking at it just like a regular image, but actually when you start looking closer at the details, the amount of detail in these graphics is insane. It's beautiful. Like you can't not appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to have our own characters.
Those little cards.
Well, these are the
swatches.
These are the NFTs.
Yeah, I like the way that looks with the
man. And this is how they originally launched. And I mean, if you look, there's almost no gradient. There's no gradient.
Mm-mm.
But they've evolved, and they've evolved so smooth, man. I'm telling you.
It's a beautiful website.
That's a derail. But if we can get our own character, that makes someone feel something similar. That would really do it for me. Okay, so the event. So what are our priority zeros for what's next? Did we finish priority 0 and we're now on priority 1s? Like, what's next?
I feel like we're still on priority 0 because, well, no. I'm like intertwining everything with the event. Like State of the Spark and the event are all becoming one thing to me now.
Well, you're thinking about the new homepage. and you're thinking about the new kind of membership resources.
Yeah.
We need to name that something funky. I've always called it the Spark Journey Toolkit, but that's too clunky. It's too clunky.
It's a little long. But
well, the toolkit is kind of what
yeah.
I called it. But like the thing here is tools and training and community. Tools, training, community. You know, or a community for tools and training. So it's really just two things. And so like as we come up with like our beta version or a minimum viable product, I showed you that I had created the resource page, right?
I'm not picturing it in my head. Can you bring it up?
Yeah. Let's see here. I love how like this Spark hours becomes like an extension of Thursday Huddle. Like 1%ers are just working on things. And for those piping in, we do see a few people popping in and out. Please ignore us. This isn't Ask Us Anything. This is like an office hours. So if you have questions about anything website related, messaging related, launching related, or poop bucket related, please ask. And
we're actually here for you.
We're here. We're here for you.
We're not here to just talk. I mean, but we'd love to. So
that's
we will.
I came for the talk.
will.
And so, yeah, 56, I am watching our time here. So let's see here. I'm pulling up the page, course catalog, client portal. It's under my account. I've already got it framed under my account. Hang on. Citizen resources. Okay, so let's pull this up. And then let's look here.
I'm so excited.
So the design needs to change.
Sure.
Maybe it's not foundations. Maybe it's toolkit. Maybe it's just resources. Mm-hmm. These were the placeholders.
That's right. I do remember this now.
I connected it. The Spark Vision goal setting and like the Spark Vision goals. I even started labeling stuff like what is goal setting, the total life experience. These were courses that we were just like filling out, and then small business success. But we've already said our primary initial target audience is small business owners. Mm-hmm. So is this, the goal was that we came from my account, they log in, it routes to my account, and then we feature this somehow on the my account page. Mm-hmm. But like the my account page needs to be updated. Right?
Yeah.
This is a default WordPress my account page. Mm-hmm. But like over here we can add links to everything. Here we can add links. So we'll navigate to it somehow, and then they get these resources. But these resources are the main meat that they're getting. This and community tools and a community of tools and training, but the community side is also kind of its own offering. Mm-hmm. I have thought about Buddy Press and making this a social platform.
Yeah.
But we haven't done a lot of that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if we should just stick to the Facebook groups for now or the Discord groups. We could talk about that later. But this is the beginnings, and it could completely change for all I care.
I mean, I think small business resources for now could work as far as title. I mean,
small, okay. Yeah, if we were 1%ing this, small business resources, change the design to match our new layout design.
Yeah.
And then maybe like these were my original premises is when you join State of the Spark, regardless, not even thinking of small business owners. There are the foundations. So foundations pertain to these four. Mm-hmm. And these are core teachings that even if someone has made a one-off purchase, if they become a customer, these are kind of the free frameworks of Spark. The total life experience, Spark 101, your Spark journey, and the Guru family tree. It's kind of like the here's a map of the territory, you know?
Yeah.
And then we get right into goal setting. But to your point, the 1%ers, well, we're focusing on small business owners. So some of this is like personal development. A lot of this is personal development. It's not until you get here that you start to see MSPBA. Mm-hmm. So this is marketing, sales, production, bookkeeping, and admin. and I start listing out the resources we have that should be designed like this, that are ready to go.
Yeah.
Of course, or that they're coming soon, coming soon. So Amber, if I'm hearing you, 1% is let's hide or diminish these other things
Yeah.
and get right into this.
I think so for now. And then we might be able to, again, 1% it later, and maybe that becomes something we want to add back, or maybe it becomes a different area. But yeah, I think
Okay.
I would skip to the meat and potatoes.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why I said it like
I don't know. I feel like there's value, like depending on who's coming to the site, because like some people might want to work on their business, and other people might want to like work on self-development. So what if you had like, how on a lot of our other client sites, like it's kind of like a one pager, but like when you click on something, it takes you down the page.
anchor.
Like, what if like, thank you.
Like some navigation right here.
Yeah, like what if you had some navigation up there that kind of said like, these are the things that we're offering.
So it'd be like secondary, like maybe change the order of the things and do what she's saying, where at the top under that blue banner, there could be a small secondary menu that links you down the page to the other items. Because then they can determine what's valuable to them. But we're making a push for.
Yeah. Well, I did, and in that vein, and Jessica, it's a great thought there, and I like that. I think we're going to go with that. My other thought was, well, under the MSPBA framework, personal development falls under the admin because you're working on business, you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
But in the Spark, in the Spark framework, the Spark journey, Spark starts with a vision, and that's working on yourself. Once you've accomplished a few things, then it's Ignite, which is working on your business. And so to Jessica's point, I think keeping that pure and clean, we should probably keep them separate. It shouldn't be rolled under admin. It should be its separate thing. But what I'm thinking is this. Let's say someone comes to us for just website stuff. I wonder if Spark resources shouldn't still appear in their, like, and even be an Easter egg where it appears in their dashboard. They might even get like a Woo Automate Woo email that arrives to them. And all it is the foundations, and frame it with maybe an intro video of, hey, listen, other people are involved like this, but here's this thing. So if, to Jessica's point, if they've paid for the Spark Citizen membership, the State of the Spark Citizen membership, the order, like Jessica said, with the anchor tags at the top, will be what they see, and all of this unfolds before them. And I'm thinking, Amber, of using that the rule in Divi, user if this user show this condition. Thank you. But if they don't have that condition and they're just like a Spark Sites subscriber or a one-off customer, they still see this, but they don't see that anchor tag menu. All they see is this.
Yeah.
And so they have this little extra Easter egg because it's technically a freemium framework and we want to serve people.
Right.
So that's what I've got built. And Amber, this goes back to you saying you're starting to jumble the two. So here's my thought. P0, I think, of the event is done. P0 is like, what's the minimum that has to happen? We got to rent a room. We got to tell people about it. We got to put butts in seats. We got to say something to them.
We've got that.
I think we've got that. I'm pretty sure. I think a P1 is, let's go the extra mile to fill the room. Let's do some posts to start to seed and dialogue what this thing could be about. And then let's really dial in what we're saying to make sure that we're getting extra mileage out of that event from that regard. I think a P3 or a P2 there, so P0, P1, and P2. I think a P2 here is, can we show them a roadmap and maybe even tease something to say, this is what we're doing Q3.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what I'm thinking as like next steps. So I think P0, like, we're there. I think we're in the P1 zone. Getting the videographer, getting the media set up, thinking about outfits, like do we look our best, like this idea of like a micro glow up, how can we do a single event, because we're gonna have cameras there, they're gonna be doing stuff, how can we doll up a little bit and feel great that we could trickle some of these photos and content out over the coming weeks and just feel good about that. I like that. And then knowing kind of what we're saying, and then a P2 is roadmap this stuff out. What else? We've gone over time. It's time to wrap up and let everyone get back about their days. Any parting thoughts, final thoughts? Jessica, you're smirking. Talk to me.
I just really enjoyed this.
Why is that?
We just, I don't know. I think we had a lot of fun on our call today. We even got our huddle in, so we got to fill the cups.
Yeah.
And I mean, we did accomplish some things. We talked about the shirts, so now we have a clear plan. We even talked about our website, and I didn't know we had a P0, 1, or 2, so now I have notes on what those are.
We just came up with that.
We just determined, like that was awesome. And you know what? We are fun, and people should hang out with us more. So hopefully next time someone will ask us a question.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like we know you're watching. Just ask.
Yeah, man.
They're too entertained.
Yeah.
To ask questions because they just want to hear about us pooping in buckets.
Pooping in buckets. And let me tell you something. I would never, and I just want to make sure you also hear this from me, never feel any kind of... Do you see the viewer numbers on your screen?
No.
So I get, because I'm posting probably, I see the viewer numbers. And quite often it's goose eggs. It's a big 0. And then it'll jump to like 4, 5, 6, 7. And I don't know if that's just like something coming up. And then it'll disappear. I don't trust these numbers at all. But I did want to say to you, whether or not we get chats or comments, just know this. In Facebook, it will say, there's a live in your Spark Sites group.
Right.
There's a live in your Goals and Gratitude group. The Spark Sites page has gone live. Grant Nadu has gone live. Or in your case, Jessica's gone live. And Amber, you can always connect your channels if you ever care to too, but don't feel pressure for that either. And all of the people in our network see that we went live, whether or not they even watched the show.
Yeah.
And we do this every other week. And so I just know that it's called Metcalfe's Law. The network effects of what we do is huge, let alone the dialogue that Jessica just summarized. I think we actually, and now I have an action plan for shirts. So, cool. All right.
Yeah. We should huddle in the open more often because
I'm fine with that.
You should all be huddling, okay, every day.
Well, and I'm telling you, like, I've even thought about a level up service. We'll talk about this another time for the sake of time. I want to respect your afternoon. But doing a once a week huddle with the Goals and Gratitude group live.
I would love that. Put legs to that. Get it on the calendar.
Q3.
We're trying to do so much.
And we can't eat into everyone's afternoon, so we have to find a good time that we're doing it on the clock, like normal, in a normal day. But it is a value-added service. So if it's like, I got to put up this domain or change this main menu, or I got to go on live to the Spark Sites and Goals and Gratitude group, one of those is way more effective. Anyways, okay, I appreciate you girls. Hard stops. You enjoy your afternoon. Thank you. We'll talk soon.